Tuned into Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast with Ryan Enjoys Wrestling and MWO. And this is our AEW edition, where this week we're just going to cover Dynamite, and we have a fun segment if that's cool and that's not cool. Of course, we're going to do our LVD, MVD. Ryan, we wanted to just do Dynamite because Dynamite was jam-packed. We want to give it the respect that it deserves. Are you ready to talk some AEW, man?
I do, man. I am. I think AEW had a killer week this week. Emphasis on the word killer because they had a big debut. I think AEW right now is clicking on all cylinders, and they're off to a great start in 2026.
It's wild because pro wrestling is not as popular as it was when the Bloodline was around. I feel like it's dying, it's declining. People don't care. No one's going to events. But dude, it's good. I know people are hating on WWE, but it's still good. TNA, I think their second one is airing right now. The first one wasn't bad, but before that, it was good. AEW is good. We should just be happy. Who cares if the ratings aren't that great? Who cares if people aren't watching it? That's because money's too much for us poor pro wrestling fans.
Exactly.
But it is good. We all can't be that one weird guy who lives with his grandma and grandpa and can fly to Saudi Arabia. Some of us have jobs, children, lives, bills. But Ryan, are you ready to break down AEW?
I am, man. Let's get to it.
Let's go.
Two dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E. The two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
By the way, so Blake Monroe, is she becoming more of Mariah May or more of Toni Storm lately? Because I feel like she even had like movie posters in the background of her house and stuff. I mean, I know she was always like a Toni Storm protege and wanted to be Toni Storm, but she never wanted to be that Toni Storm. I don't know what Blake Monroe, I'm digging her. I feel like she's getting more of a character, even though she's about to lose to Jada Parker probably. But I mean, I feel like she's becoming more. Is it Toni Storm? If she has an accent and lipstick all over her face, like in a few months, I'm gonna lose my mind.
She loses and throws shoes at people.
I can't wait. It talks about lesbianism. But I saw her on our opening intro, and I'm like, for those of you who are watching, those of you who aren't, we have Mariah May or Blake Monroe in our opening segment. But Ryan, let's get into it. You ready for some Dynamite?
Yeah, man. It was a good show.
I know, and I feel like you're probably so excited, and you probably can't hide it. Yeah, you're probably about to lose control, and I think you want to. I truly do. But let's break it down. And this was, I mean, everything we're going to talk about is pretty like main event type people. Let's start off with the obvious. You already stated it. You want to talk about it. It is my favorite NXT world champion of all time. Him and Goldie, I think, is the best thing that happened in NXT. If you were to give me my number one NXT superstar, was always this man. He is all elite. And I have to say, Ryan, I'll let you start off with a thing. But I am upset that he did not pull a Ravishing Rick Rude, because he could have, right? He could have doubled up on shows. But that was Powerhouse Hobbs. Sorry, I was mad that Powerhouse Hobbs didn't pull a Ravishing Rick Rude. But he could have. So he couldn't have because he wasn't on TV. But Powerhouse Hobbs was literally on a delayed episode of Collision, and he could have been on SmackDown on Friday, and then they could have had him on Collision on Saturday. I don't know why he didn't do that. I thought that would have been freak. That was one of the coolest things. Rick Rude had a beard and then didn't have a beard, but it was reversed. So flipping hilarious. But with that said, we got Tommaso Ciampa in AEW, literally like 2 days after he was supposedly done with his contract. What say you, Ryan? What did you think about the debut, the reaction? How excited are you, and your potential level in Tommaso Ciampa?
Yeah, I thought this whole thing was fantastic. I thought the presentation was good. I thought the debut was good. I took a lot of social media apps off my phone, so I don't know if anybody saw it coming. I don't know if anybody knew it was happening before the show. I haven't seen anything that said like, he's backstage at Dynamite. Like, I didn't see anything like that, but I also took a lot of apps off my phone. So it was nice to just not be spoiled or not be made aware of something like that. It was actually nice to be surprised for once.
I agree.
And I loved all of it. I thought it was well done. I didn't know who it was either. That was the thing. Like I was like, who is this? Like this. At first, I was like, okay, like it's the lights going out. It's gonna be hologram or something. Like it's an open challenge for Collision. Like how great could this be? And then they put Psycho Killer on the screen, and I was like, okay, I'm still not. And then his music hit, and the music didn't give it away. I was like, who is it? And then it was Tommaso Ciampa, and I think this signing has the potential to be one of the biggest and best signings that Tony Khan has ever made. If he does it correctly, if he does it right, I think this could be. He could be on the level of Jon Moxley in terms of what he brings to the table with AEW. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Jon Moxley, but they're pretty similar in a lot of ways. They never found their footing in the WWE. They have an opportunity at a new beginning in AEW. I think he needs to win the TNT Championship on Saturday at Collision and have the most dominant run with that TNT title. Don't lose it to anybody. Don't just hang on to it for a year. Let somebody build somebody up and let them beat him. But don't play hot potato with this belt. Like let him have a dominant run like he did with NXT. Like this was a fantastic signing. Keep him away from the Don Callis family. Keep him away from the Death Riders. Let him be his own man. And let's watch what this man can do. I'm super pumped about this. And if you think about it, AEW really they kind of traded Powerhouse Hobbs for Tommaso Ciampa, and I actually think maybe AEW got the better end of that trade.
Yeah, but I think so, because I think Tommaso Ciampa is to our viewers right now, people who are listening who don't really know who Tommaso Ciampa is, other than the guy who was pairing up with Johnny Gargano and SmackDown and Raw for the past few years.
R-Truth and a comedy.
Yeah, go back and watch old NXT Golden Black. This dude is him. He is him in the ring, on the mic, him and Goldie. I hope he calls it Goldie if he wins it again. But he is just that. He is that damn good. Like, on a talent level, I think he's bigger than Adam Cole. And I love Adam Cole. I think he was a bigger champion. I think he was a bigger ambassador of the sport. Well, he's a 2-time champ. He is that damn good. Don't let his 40-year-olds or however old he is fool you. This dude is him. I think he'll bring it. And I agree with you. I think it's an even trade, though, because I think they're both uber talented people who weren't being used by their company. And sometimes that happens. So why not just hopefully they do better? But they have to do him better. Don't give him the Josh Alexander. And I know people are going to say he's not Josh Alexander. He wasn't that big. Well, Josh Alexander was a gigantic champ in TNA, which isn't much different than NXT. It's not like Ciampa had a huge career on SmackDown and Raw. He didn't. He didn't do shit. So, it's the kind of same thing. Don't put him in Don Callis. Don't let him
keep him away from
100%. Just let him. Don't have him lose to Mark freaking Briscoe. Number one, number two. And you'll be all right, because that ovation, he got an Adam Cole level reaction, and he should have. And I think utilized right, I agree with you. When Mox is said and done, I think Ciampa could be that guy running the show, because he's not afraid of those matches. He has that charisma. He could be that guy. So yes, I'm hoping for the best for Tommaso Ciampa, and I gotta agree with you. I love that I didn't see it coming. I love, WWE has had maybe 2 recently, Seth Rollins and another, I forget. My memory's a little blank right now, but of actual oh man, I can't, no one saw that coming. This is another one, and AEW got to pull it off this time, and I enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah. And I think it's good, right? Like everyone always likes to make fun of AEW that they lost all their wrestlers. They're losing Chris Jericho. They losing Powerhouse Hobbs. They're losing this person. You never they got people from TNA, sure, but it's been a while since somebody went from the WWE, other than Andrade. It's been a while since somebody went from WWE to AEW, and Tommaso Ciampa is a huge get for them. It really is, and I'm pumped for them. And like you said, keep him out of the Don Callis family. Let him beat Mark Briscoe. And I know people are like, well, why is he wrestling on Collision of all shows? And I kind of get that if this was any other Saturday, but the Royal Rumble is in the afternoon. And so they need to, they want to get people to tune in to Collision. And I think Tommaso Ciampa is a perfect person to, get you interested in tuning into Collision for the TNT title. So I think it makes perfect sense. It's marketing. People are going to want to watch it, and the Rumble's not on, so it's not like they're competing against the Rumble. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do.
I agree. And you brought up Andrade, so let's talk about it. Andrade returned last week. He's the most stale, boring wrestler ever. I stated that last week when we broke the episode down. So they decided to give him a swerve. And now he's a ladies' man. And I heard people saying he's the ravishing Rick Rude, that handsome Andrade. Ugh, out here dancing with girls and what. It's so stupid. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know from the thing we're going to talk about pretty soon, there is 4 guys competing for an AEW heavyweight title shot at Hangman Page, Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and I guess Kenny Omega, and then I guess they threw Andrade in there as the 5th. So Andrade had to earn his keep to wrestle Kenny Omega in a kind of made-up title eliminator match. So he goes against Swerve Strickland, and if you were a betting man, you would have put $10 billion on the fact that Swerve Strickland would easily mop the floor with Andrade, but boy, were you wrong, because for whatever reason, Tony Khan had Andrade defeat your uber popular, uber over top 4 wrestler star in your organization to Andrade. And what I'm assuming is the proof point that the headache of getting this man was worth it, that everyone calling him a cancer, it's not true, because we're going to push him to the moon. I think Tony Khan is going to look back at this moment and regret it immensely. This was a huge wasted opportunity. Andrade is not that guy. I'm glad he has a job. God bless his soul. But he's not a superstar in AEW, and he's not a world champion. Get him out of this freaking thing pronto. If he beats Kenny Omega next week, dude.
Yeah. Everything I just said about if he beats Kenny Omega, everything I just said about Tommaso Ciampa coming to AEW, like I'll take it all back, because that's a huge mistake. I think it was a huge mistake having him beat Swerve Strickland. This whole thing just kind of came out of nowhere. For a while, it was just 3 guys competing for a shot against MJF, and they were like trying to outdo one another. And then this week they throw this tournament thing, like this is a heat, and we got to wrestle this person, and then the final 2 will wrestle at a Grand Slam Australia for a shot at Revolution. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, where did this come from? Why is Andrade randomly inserted in this? He's undefeated in 2026. Okay, big whoop. Like, that doesn't. Yeah, what has he done to earn a title shot? I don't understand what they're doing with this at all. So yeah, and I do think he might be Kenny Omega, because when he came back that first time, he went after Kenny Omega. And
he's in the Don Callis family,
and then he took the sabbatical because of the non-compete issue that WWE had, and then now he's coming back and he's wrestling Kenny Omega again. So yeah, I have a feeling he's going to beat Kenny Omega, and that would make all of this a complete and utter waste of time, and something that I was super pumped about with AEW.
So where's AEW Revolution this year again?
In your hometown, LA.
Yeah, LA, right? Yeah. What's LA known for? What kind of culture?
Yeah, I know. Yep, Hispanic. Yeah.
That's coming from a Mexican Puerto Rican homie. I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if it's Andrade versus MJF for the title at AEW Revolution to bring in. Hopefully, they want that Hispanic crowd to go. Imagine when we go. You thought it was, crazy last time. Just wait. People are going to be in luchador masks, and I'm telling you, you'll see. Yeah. You'll see.
Oh my God, they're going to do this, aren't they? Oh,
I'm telling you, we'll see. Well, we'll get back to that. Let's rewind a little bit, and let's talk about another thing you love with the Don Callis family, because we can't talk about AEW without talking about the Don Callis family. And that's when Jon Moxley and Takeshita, they went face-to-face. Looks like they're going to go for the Continental title, which makes sense. But, Mox and Takeshita, number one, super cool. Because I think Okada has kind of gotten all the limelight from the, Japanese signing that they did. Takeshi's kind of been there, but kind of the second fiddle, because Okada's just that damn good, right? And I think now it's nice to see Takeshita and Moxley. It looks like they're going towards Okada and Kyle Fletcher. I'll let you break that down, because I know you really didn't just want to talk about Moxley and Takeshita, which I love. And it's something that I said when I said that MJF should hold the title forever, that it would be okay, because there's so many championships in AEW that all the other big hitters can still have good storylines with titles, and this is a proof of it, right? We got Okada and Kyle Fletcher, possibly. We got Moxley and Takeshita. These are all hitters. Maybe Tommaso Ciampa as a champion. We got Ricochet going up against Jack Perry. We can have people be popular without, MJF dropping the strap. Let MJF carry the company. Everyone else kind of work in between. But what say you? I know you wanted to break down all this drama. Let's let you hear it. What do you think about all this and the apology and the obvious look afterwards that is an apology and so on?
Yeah, I love Takeshita, and I like the idea of Jon Moxley versus Takeshita. I think that's the logical next step. I just wish that I miss the days of Takeshita and Okada. I feel like we never really got the proper closure on that. And I feel like we need to get back to that. That's why Okada doing the fake apology to Kyle Fletcher. I don't want to see Okada and Kyle Fletcher have a match. I want to see Takeshita and Okada finally have their match and finally get their due. And I think they've wrestled maybe a time or two during the Continental Classic and all that, but I want there to be something more. I want this international championship to be on the line. I don't know. AEW was cooking when they had Okada and Takeshita kind of beefing with one another. But the apology thing, it's all setting up for Kyle Fletcher and Okada, and I don't know. I'm not really feeling that. But I like what they're doing with Moxley. I do. I like the fact that Moxley is looking vulnerable to Takeshita. I like that. I like the fact that Moxley is, he looked dead when they Doyle and Davis beat him up afterwards. His arm was crooked and he looked it was really, really strange. But I like what they're doing. But I am so over the Don Callis family as in general. Too many damn segments on Dynamite. I think they were in an hour and a half of a 2-hour show. I think I did the math. Yeah. They opened the show, then you had the thing with Kenny Omega, then you had the Jon Moxley stuff, then you had the main event and all the stuff, the tag team title match and all this other stuff in between, all the backstage segments. I think it was a total of 90 minutes of a 2-hour show that the Don Callis family was in, and I'm so over that. I don't want to see they gotta either cut down the number of people that are in it or limit the number of segments. But it's just too much right now.
Once again, why did the NWO fail? Yeah, I got too many people and it was too much on your television. It didn't feel special anymore. That's the Don Callis family. I just want to mention really quick before we jump into the last thing is that I think what you're saying is what you want. I think all of this is happening to lead us to Takeshita versus Okada. I think Okada is going to cost Takeshita his match against Moxley, and that's going to make everybody see that Okada truly isn't apologetic, and that's going to turn everyone against him, and that's going to lead to him and Takeshita. Or Kyle Fletcher and then will turn on Takeshita, but I don't think so. I think this is going to lead to kicking Okada out of the Don Callis family finally. That's what I think.
I hope.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that's what this is leading to. I don't think we're going to get Fletcher and Okada. I think that's just teasing to get to Takeshita and Okada because the whole apology kind of wiped them out from wrestling each other, I think. So we'll see.
Yeah. But I hope you're right. I hope that this is what this is getting to. But
I think so. But nonetheless, stories. Thank you, AEW. Why is AEW cooking AEW hardcore fans who watch us? Because they're telling stories. They're not just having pointless matches. They're telling stories and still having good matches within the stories. That's pro wrestling. So I love it. I love it. But let's get into the last thing. And this might, number one, we just talked about the world title. There's 5 guys in it, right? Well, now 4 because Andrade took Swerve's spot. You don't always have to be in a 4-man tournament to get a title shot. No. You can just be a big old tattooed Nazi is what MJF said. And you could just have yourself just force yourself into it. So MJF cut a promo. Brody King interrupted. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is not my words. MJF said, I've never seen anyone be such a liberal, yet look like such a Nazi. MJF could not have been any smoother on the mic. This man is getting better and better. And he was starting to get predictable with this stuff. And I feel like he switched it up a little bit. He was kind of vibing. I like that line. He had a few other hitters against Brody King. And Brody King did his best. But basically, long story short, it's Brody versus MJF next week. And then if Brody King wins that match, which I'm assuming he's going to somehow, then he will get a title shot against MJF, which he will then lose. I like it. in a sense of how they're booking everything. Because if you need the other 4 now to kind of figure themselves out by Revolution, why not have MJF do something other than just watching in the crowd in the background? And yes, I know it's MJF having another, you have to prove it to me moment that he always has, that Jericho was doing back in the days with him and so on. But Brody King, MJF, I'm all for it. Promo was fire. What say you? Am I off on this? Did you not like the liberal Nazi line? Because I thought it was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I mean, only MJF could pull that off, and he pulled it off beautifully. But yeah, no, I like this promo. I like this segment. It was a refreshing thing because the Don Callis family wasn't involved after they've been involved the whole entire damn show. But yeah, this was great, and I like the ending of Dynamite too because it shows you how important the world title feels right now. You had Andrade confront him. You had Hangman Page confront him. You had Kenny Omega confront him. And he's wrestling Brody King next week. And in the promo, he also mentioned Buddy Matthews, and he mentioned Malachi Black, and he was like, the most impressive thing you ever did was turn the lights on and off. It was just like good stuff. I mean,
good stuff.
It was so funny. I was wondering where he was going with that. I was like, please don't bring up the WWE, and he didn't. I was glad that he didn't. And it made sense. And my bold prediction is I feel like he name dropped Buddy Matthews for a reason, and I think Buddy Matthews is from Australia. If Brody King wins, he gets a title shot in Australia. So I think Brody King wins the Eliminator match next week, and then at Grand Slam Australia, Buddy Matthews comes back and costs Brody King the match, and we set up that feud because Brody King joined Bandito, left Buddy Matthews high and dry, never checked on him, just kind of went on to win the tag teams without him. And yeah, I think Buddy Matthews. I think that's why MJF name dropped him in that promo.
I thought Buddy Matthews was WWE bound.
No, he's hurt. He has a broken ankle or something. So I think Tony Khan will add time to his contract.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he is.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I'd like to see that turn. That'd be nice. But yeah, nonetheless, good stuff. And those of you that don't know, Brody King's like the most hardcore liberal. This guy wears like shirts like F-Ice and other things. He's very hardcore about it, very pro, gay and so on. So it was a very, very funny line to call him out for being this big old bald tattooed guy who, loves everybody. So shows that anybody can love y'all. Don't judge a book by its cover. But there you go. That was our AEW Dynamite week in review. It was a fantastic episode, like we said. Good stuff from AEW. And let's get into it, man. This is one of our favorite segments we do. I don't think a lot of you remember now, especially since he's no longer in the WWE anymore. But there was a time where he was not. Carlito was nowhere to be seen, and we came up with this concept where it was that's cool, that's not cool. It brought Carlito back into our world. We're bringing it back again. We're going to give each other a couple ideas, and we will say if we think it's cool or not cool. Yeah.
That's not cool.
That's not cool. We should always have an apple when we do this segment. But anyway,
we should.
Ryan, as always, you get to go first. What's your first? That's cool. That's not cool. Hopeful.
All right. Let's go with. Okay. I'll give you one. I think we did this one a little bit last week, but we're going to do it again because it's Royal Rumble season, and he's hot off the presses right now. He's still on the AEW roster. So, cool or not cool? Chris Jericho spurns the WWE and opts to come back to AEW and have an official retirement tour with AEW instead of the WWE.
It's so funny because I had this on mine, so I like it. So I'm glad I did more than two. All right. I'm going to throw it out there. Even though I want Chris Jericho to go to the WWE, Chris Jericho deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And I think 100%. Even if he went back to AEW, he can still go back to WWE when his contract ends again. He only signs a 1-year contract. So with that said, if Chris Jericho returned to AEW instead of WWE, that would be the coolest flipping thing ever. And would just show who Chris Jericho is. 100%. That would be so cool. I would love it. I'd be all for it. And I think he would be more. Everybody's saying he wouldn't do that because no one likes him anymore. Oh no, they would love him. They would love. He
Yeah.
can go on for days about why he chose AEW over. Oh, it would be fantastic.
It would be nobody would see it coming. Everybody was so sure he's coming back to WWE. He was going to be on the January 5th Raw. He was going to be on the January 5th Monday Night Raw. Now he was going to be at the Rumble. His contract was up on New Year's Eve. He's still on the AEW roster the Friday before the Royal Rumble. I'm not like I don't think people dislike Chris Jericho. I think people disliked the learning tree gimmick, and I think that made them sour on Chris Jericho. I mean, I think Chris Jericho did some things outside of the, politically and stuff that people didn't really necessarily agree with. But
I mean, his wife was
his wife was in the Capitol thing, January 6th. But in AEW itself, I think I don't think he did anything to make them hate him. I think it was the learning tree gimmick that he was trying to force onto everybody, and that made them eventually turn on him. So I think if he comes back as Le Champion, and he, maybe gets added to this world title thing with MJF, he has AEW does retirement tours better than WWE. See Sting, and he can have like a Sting-esque retirement tour in AEW. He can go out his way against his opponents that he wants to face. Yeah, I think it would be the coolest thing ever.
I fully agree. I would be all the swerve.
Bring back Judas. Yeah.
Yep. But I think he worked a deal with Tony Khan. You got to remember, he wasn't a founder of AEW, but he was basically without him, AEW wouldn't be where they were today. He was their first ever champion. He helped carry that company for a couple years. So I think Tony Khan knows him a lot. He was done. What else is he going to do in AEW? I guarantee he asked Tony Khan if he is going back to WWE to say, hey, don't take me off anything until I'm there. And Tony Khan was probably like, you got it. Tony Khan's a really good guy. I don't see him not wanting to. And I feel like this is different than all the other ones. I think Tony Khan would help Chris Jericho in his surprise. Him going back to WWE isn't going to hurt AEW, so what does it matter? So I can see him.
No, I see that. Yeah. But I would love if he came back to AEW.
I think it would just be hilarious. I want him to go to WWE. I want to see him at the Rumble, but that would be hilarious. All right. I have another one of the same type of caliber. Your boy AJ Styles, we both predicted he was going to lose in his match against Gunther. So, cool or not cool? AJ Styles is all elite.
You know what? I'm going to hate myself for doing this, but I'm going to go.
That's not cool.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. As much as I think it would help AEW, I feel like it would have been fun 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yes.
But what's he gonna do in it? Like, we already have AJ Styles in AEW. It's every other wrestler that's there.
That's the problem. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, would it be cool to see him against Kenny Omega? Sure. Would it be cool to see him against Will Ospreay? Absolutely. Hangman Page, MJF, Swerve, Adam Copeland. I mean, the names go on and on. Yeah, sure. But at the same time, he's also said that 2026 is going to be his last year in wrestling. So unless he is lying, he would only be in AEW for a short period of time. I think that's a waste of a contract. I think that's a waste of a roster spot. Realistically, I just don't think it makes any sense. I would love it if this was 2 years ago and his contract was up.
Yeah.
And he could have a good long run. Yeah, he could have a good lengthy run in AEW. I think that would be awesome. I think it would be great for AEW. But I think if he really is done in 2026, then I think this is a waste of time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go not cool as well. I'm a little bit different. The reason why, because I think when you retire. I hate that these pro wrestlers refuse. Ric Flair's and so on. HBK came back pointlessly. Stone Cold came back. John Cena hopefully never comes back. AJ, be a face, be a body, be a manager, be a general man, be whatever you want, but don't come back to wrestle if you're going to retire. So that's why I don't want him to do it, because if you're going to lose a retirement match, then retire, right? Because back in my days, people lost retirement matches all the time. Macho Man lost like 3 of them. I mean, people lost and they always just kept coming back. I just can't stand that. I want to see, if you're going to retire, then retire. And I think he should. He has 75 kids. He's older. Why not? What else has he got to do? What else could AJ Styles possibly prove? So I say not cool. Stay at AEW. All right. Yeah. What's your second one, homie?
All right, let's go with
Your last one. Yeah.
the debuting Tommaso Ciampa. So, cool or not cool, Tommaso Ciampa not only beats Mark Briscoe, but he becomes the most dominant TNT champion of all time in AEW. Has the title for a year, beats everybody, like just dominates.
Bro, that's cooler than the other side of the pillow, homie. I'm all for it. Like, that is one. And I want to see him, honestly. You know who I want to see him wrestle more than anybody? And you're going to think this is stupid. But I'm going to throw it out there. Orange
Shelton
Cassidy.
Benjamin.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I would like Shelton, but I want to
Yeah.
see him and Orange Cassidy. I want to see Orange. I love Orange Cassidy. I think they're not using him anymore. What the hell happened to him? And just, yeah, him versus Tomas. I don't know why. I just think they would really, really mesh well together. Oh yeah, him versus Shelton Benjamin. Sign me up. I mean, honestly, him versus Kyle Fletcher, him versus Bobby Lashley, him versus basically anyone on the roster. But yeah, that is super, super cool in my books. Yes, sir. And I think after that, he needs to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I agree. He needs to have a good. I think if you're going to give him a title match in his first match in AEW, he needs to win it, and he needs to hold on to it forever. Don't have him lose it to Darby Allin in 3 months. Don't have him lose it to Brody King in 6 months. Don't have him lose it to I don't know who else, but
Jack Perry.
Have him have a long, lengthy title similar to his NXT run. Let him just dominate the TNT title space and bring some relevance back to that title.
Agreed. All right, my last one's gonna kind of catch you off guard. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So basically, this whole merger between Warner Brothers and Netflix has now kind of caught up with itself again. It looks like Netflix is going to buy them out. Supposedly, they're paying in cash. I didn't know that was like a thing. Like the CEO of Netflix is going to bring like 18 briefcases full of like billions of dollars. Here you go, Bugs Bunny. But nonetheless,
filthy animal.
Yeah, right. So. And rumor has it that it's already been announced that AEW will have no part of Netflix. The end. They will be done. So they will be stuck to TBS and TNT. I think that's the worst thing that can happen to AEW. I know it just happened with TNA, and it's like a win that they're on cable TV, but I think cable TV is dying. I think streaming is the future. I do think AEW is too big for that. So cool or not cool, AEW needs to just get away from Turner. And they need to be the first wrestling company to go full everything they do, pay-per-views, Dynamite, Collision on YouTube. I think YouTube is the future. I think people are sleeping on it. I think people are starting to come to YouTube now. What's the number one most viewed app in the world, Ryan? YouTube.
Yes, sir.
So AEW goes to YouTube. What say you? Cool or not cool?
That's cool.
And I think I'm the first person to say that, bro. I don't think anyone's ever said that.
Wait until tomorrow when somebody.
Oh yeah, Johnny and everyone will say and say they also thought of it. Yeah.
Should AEW go to YouTube after their contract expires? I'm gonna break down the reasons why. But no, I think they need to. I think maybe ride this contract out, but start the process of moving everything over to YouTube and make it free. Like, don't pay. Okay, we pay $10.
Yes.
Yeah. We pay $10 for pay-per-views or whatever, but don't. Don't make me pay $50 to watch Dynamite and Collision. That's how you're gonna alienate your fan base. Don't make me pay $50 to watch your pay-per-views. Make it affordable. You talk about your low ticket prices for everything and wrestling not being having to spend a lot of money on your budget. Then do the same thing with your television shows. And I guarantee you people will watch, people will tune in, people will enjoy it. You'll get sponsors that way. Yeah, I think when people are done watching Two Dudes with Attitudes, the wrestling podcast on YouTube, I think the next logical thing is for them to tune into AEW. And then when they watch AEW, come back and tune into Two Dudes with Attitudes as we break it all down. So, yes, come to YouTube and subscribe to us while you're at it.
Hell yeah. And you'll get paid on YouTube. They'll get paid tons of money also through YouTube. So whether YouTube gives them money to be on it, through being paid as being a, creator or whatever, they'll make money. So it's like, I think that's the best way. And I was trying to think of where they can go. And WWE owns, or TKO owns all of the streaming services. know where they can go. So why not YouTube, man? Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's saying how with HBO and all these high prices that YouTube is going to be the future, and AEW needs to jump on it. That's the one thing WWE always did well. They always jumped on something before it got popular. Jump on it. Do it now and ride the wave. So, yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. All right. There it is. You heard it here first. Don't let anybody steal it. I should put it on TikTok tomorrow before anybody does. All right. With that said, that was our That's Cool, That's Not Cool. And now it's time for our favorite weekly segment, least valuable and most valuable dude and dudette of the week. We always start out with the least valuable. It doesn't mean we hate them. Just means that they were the worst book this week. Ryan, who is your LVD of this week?
I think this is the easiest one I've had in a long time with AEW, but I think it's none other than Swerve Strickland. As like the man came out and cut a promo, and I thought it was a damn good promo. You know, he had his sidekick with him. He had the
Prince Nana.
Prince Nana. Yeah, he was doing everything. The promo was good. He was talking about how he came back for one thing only, and that's to win the world title. He doesn't care who he has to step on to get it. He'll go through anybody. He stares at Hangman Page. He stares at Kenny Omega. Fantastic promo.
Oh.
I was excited about this title match. I was like, okay, like we're finally like this title picture feels the most important it's ever felt. And Swerve is a huge reason as to why. He's a former champion. Then you have Kenny Omega is a former champion. Hangman Page is a former champion. This is incredible. Great stuff. So what do? They have him lose to Andrade in the main event of AEW Dynamite. So he did all that talking. I'm going to go through everybody. I'm going to do this. I'm going to beat you all. Like made him feel super important and took all that momentum away from a guy who isn't even really involved in this story at all. And you know, they all, you know, who confronted MJF after the show? Andrade, Kenny Omega, and Hangman Page. Swerve Strickland was not there because he freaking lost. Like after everything that they did, it's just, this was not a good week for Swerve, and I cannot believe that AEW booked him to lose to Andrade after that. And I thought he could cut a really good promo, and after that great promo, I was pumped. Now I'm like, where does Swerve go from here? Like, how does he recover from this?
He'll probably be wrestling Ricochet or something. I agree with you. He is also my LVD. It made zero sense. Losing to Andrade, you deserve to be the LVD because that's the least valuable a person could possibly be, is losing to that tool. So, I agree. You said enough. Let's move on. Let's end it on a high note. We're probably going to have the same MVD too, but let's see. So, most valuable dude or dudette of the week, the best booked pro wrestler on Dynamite. What say you? Who won it?
Mark Davis. No, my most valuable Davis and Doyle. No, I'm going with the man everyone's talking about, the psycho killer himself, Tommaso Ciampa. Just for, you know, the very reason that I was legitimately surprised for the first time in a long time. I didn't see it coming. I know that he released a statement saying that he was done with WWE, but you know, we also have the Royal Rumble coming up. So I was like, okay, like he'll be at the Rumble. Like they do this crap all the time. And then he actually shows up in AEW. Didn't see it coming. And then he's getting a title match against Mark Briscoe. He's one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. WWE wasn't using him properly. I think he was the talk of AEW Dynamite. I think people are going to tune in to see him on Collision. And again, the Royal Rumble is not on Saturday night. The Royal Rumble is on Saturday afternoon. So I think that was a smart move, actually, by having him wrestle his first match on Collision, because people are going to want to watch it. People are going to want to tune in. And I think we're about to witness something incredible with Tommaso Ciampa in AEW. So Tommaso Ciampa, the Psycho Killer, is my MVD of the week.
I fully agree. We're 2 for 2. It's Tommaso Ciampa. How can it not be? That reaction from the crowd, them jamming out to his music, his vibe, his kiss on the cheek. He better beat, but do not let Tasmanian Devils beat Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa is that guy. He should not be losing to the guy he should be handing dollars to on the corner of the arena. Let Tommaso Ciampa win. The end. There it is. MVD of the week for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Solid pick.
All right. Solid pick, sir. 2 for 2. All right, there it is, our AEW weekend review. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, once again, hit us in those comments. Please let us know what we doing right, wrong, or if you agree or disagree. And as always, if you want to hear me just all by my lonesome on all social media, my_wrestling_opinion. And with me, as always, is my sidekick, my main man, my dude, the producer.
It's Ryan Enjoys Wrestling. Go follow me on all the social media platforms. We are on X at 2DudesPC. We're on Twitch at 2Dudes_with-attitudes. We're on Instagram at 2Dudes-with-attitudes podcast. Right here on YouTube, the future home of AEW, 2 Dudes with Attitudes here. So go follow us, go subscribe, help us climb up the ranks, help us be a part of the algorithm, and help us become your future home of pro wrestling podcasts right after AEW joins. And then we're also on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes as well. And then if you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify or any other audio format, we appreciate everyone's love and support. We're in the top 10% of all listened to wrestling podcasts. And the way to get us into that top 5% and that top 1% is liking us, rating us, and subscribing to us, and leaving us 5-star ratings and reviews. That helps us climb up the ranks. And as always, we appreciate everyone's love and support. 2026 is going to be our year. It's already AEW's off to a great start. The wrestling's off to a great start. And this year, 2 Dudes with Attitudes is going to blow up, and we're off to a great start so far too. So we appreciate everyone's love and support. Let's help this podcast grow, and let's do big things in 2026.
Thanks to all you. 2 Dudes Wolf Pack. We out.
2 dudes with attitudes, let's go. It's the 2 dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Ryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all elite. The 2 dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on.